Hello Curious, and welcome back to our channel. For a long time, people had seen Woody Allen as an incredible filmmaker who had directed some incredible movies over the course of his career, but others had also seen a different side of him, which has been plagued with allegations of abuse that had only been amplified by the hashtag #MeToo movement. Even before that, the accusations that Dylan Farrow had made in 1992 against her adopted father had been hanging around Allen for a long time, and now Dylan's story is being told again in a 4-part documentary series on HBO titled Farrow vs. Allen. What exactly were the accusations? How has the documentary been received? Has Woody himself responded to these accusations? Have any of Farrow's other children spoken about this? Stay with us until the very end to find out the latest information, but before we continue, don't forget to turn on the notifications and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. It was in 1979 that actress Mia Farrow had met Woody Allen and later developed a relationship with him. Prior to Allen, she was married to Frank Sinatra and Andre Previn. With her second husband, she had 3 biological sons. While still together, the couple also adopted 3 children, one of which was Sun Yi, whom Woody would later go on to marry, which in itself was considered controversial, but we will touch upon that in a moment. Following her divorce from Andre, Mia would adopt 2 more children, son Moses in 1980 and daughter Dylan in 1985. By that point, she was already in a relationship with Allen, and by 1991, the New York City court allowed the director to co-adopt the 2 children. With Woody, the actress had 1 biological child, son Satchel Ronan O'Sullivan Farrow, who would later simply be known as Ronan Farrow. And once she had split with Allen between 1992 and 1995, she adopted 5 more children. The reason for her split in 1992 was the fact that he had started an intimate relationship with Farrow's adopted daughter Sun Yi, who was 21 years old at the time. And while the 2 of them would later end up getting married and they are still together to this day, you can imagine it raised so much more controversy at the time. It was in 1992 that Dylan Farrow had first accused her adopted father of intimately abusing her, and some things that of course over the years he had strongly denied. The following year, a report from a child abuse clinic had conducted that the director had not abused Dylan, though following a court trial for custody of Dylan, Moses, and Ronan, the judge awarded full custody to Mia and determined that the filmmaker's behavior was grossly inappropriate and that measures must be taken to protect the child. However, taking these allegations seriously as a criminal investigation was carried out, but Woody was never charged. However, the custody ruling was upheld on appeal. While over the years these allegations had made some people skeptical about Allen, his career didn't suffer all that much. Since the initial accusations, he had directed around 26 movies, all of which had been packed with Hollywood's major stars, winning several awards for his work, which included an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay in 2012. And then in 2014, he was honored with the Cecil B. DeMille Award for Lifetime Achievement at the 2014 Golden Globes. It was a few weeks after the award show that an op-ed by Dylan was published in the New York Times. In that piece, she described the account of the allegations against Woody from when she was 7 years old and questioned why his career continued to thrive almost entirely unaffected by her claims, while her life had been completely derailed. And in response to that, Woody wrote his own op-ed in the same publication in which he denied ever harming Dylan and put the blame of the whole situation on Mia, claiming that she had fabricated everything and turned Dylan against him as revenge for their relationship with Sun Yi. Then came 2017, and with the hashtag #MeToo movement, which was actually triggered in part by the investigation work of Mia and Woody's son Ronan, who was a journalist and who looked into Weinstein's treatment of women and thus shining a light onto the problems within the entertainment industry. And as that happened, Sun Yi, who usually refrained from doing interviews, and when she did, she didn't speak much about her private life, and she had decided to speak exclusively with the New York Magazine and to defend her husband. She claimed that Dylan Farrow was only taking advantage of the movement and all of the force that she had gained to make unfair statements, and she even went as far as to accuse her adoptive mother, Mia, of being abusive. If you want to know other things that she talked about, you can do so by checking out our previous video. But now in 2021, the new 4-part HBO documentary series titled Allen vs. Farrow has been released. It is directed by Kirby Dick and Amy Zuring and produced by Amy Hurdy, which is the team behind the Oscar-nominated documentary The Hunting Ground. It's set out to show, with Dylan's participation, that the rest of the world doesn't even know half of what she allegedly had been through. One of the things talked about in the documentary was why she wanted to do it now after all of those years. Dylan had simply stated that now as an adult, she has a different outlook on things and has much more time to think about and understand her feelings better than she did as a child. She also added that in a way, she needed to prove to herself that she is strong enough to face it, which is why she's coming out with this story now. There had been many childhood photos, some of which had been carefully cropped, as well as home videos from her childhood. One of them showed Alan in a swimming pool hugging and playing with Dylan. The 35-year-old had recalled that this man was somebody that she loved more than anything, and added that it had taken her a long time to understand and to come to terms with the fact that you can love somebody yet still be afraid of them. But starting from the beginning, Mia had commented on how when she first started seeing Alan, he had no interest in having children, though she decided that she would somehow balance her family life with her personal life, and in the end things would work out. Fletcher, who was Mia's youngest biological son she had with Andre, said that over time, Woody was more of a day-to-day dad, to them, than his own father was at the time. While Farrow's children talked about their memories, the makers of the documentary had used Woody read audio clips from his memories from the memoir of the 2020 Apropos Nothing to Fill with his perspective, since he was not a part of the documentary. One of the extracts said that when Mia expressed that she wanted to adopt another child, Dylan, he supported her but was surprised to find out that he would be a hands-on dad. And in one of the extracts used, he said, "I found myself more and more holding her, playing with her, and completely falling in love with her, delighted to be her father." Mia herself added that Alan was enchanted by Dylan and that she was absolutely thrilled. From the book's extracts, as well as being backed up by Mia and her family and friends in the documentary, the one thing that highlighted was that Woody would often dote on Dylan. One of the stories told by Fletcher was one time he had his adopted sister's teddy bear flown first class from one city to another when she left it behind on her vacation so that she wouldn't have to spend time with one night without it. And Mia had revealed that when she was pregnant with their son, that Woody had no problems openly hoping the child would be a girl, and when they found out it would be a boy, he was disappointed. Another thing that Farrow had added to that was that when Ronan was born, Woody took Dylan always so that she could be alone with the newborn baby, despite the fact that she wanted both of their children there. And speaking of the time after her brother was born, Dylan added that she was a daddy's girl and that she was told that her mother didn't want her around and that she was busy or didn't have time for her. The documentary then went on to reveal that their relationship was soon starting to get too much to the point where Dylan would hide from him. At one moment, she candidly said, "I worshipped him. He was so funny and he made me feel so special." That's where things get really complicated because threaded throughout all of those good times, there was a lot more going on. Family friends and Mia's high school friends also made an appearance and had recalled the bond between Woody and his adopted daughter, which they had described as intense. And one of Mia's friends, Priscilla Gilman, added that he would follow Dylan everywhere she went, which she herself would reflect on saying that she thought it was normal until she would visit a friend noticing that her dad wasn't around all the time. She got confused. And Farrow commented that she was always in his clutch and it was as if he was always hunting her. Dylan also spoke about dark memories that she had, which included getting into bed with her father and both of them in their underwear and just the two of them cuddling. Speaking more about it, she said that he would wrap his body around her very intimately, and Mia's friends once said that she was once spying Woody, getting out of bed wearing only his underwear, but that she just turned around and walked away. And Mia said that she saw them in bed too, but never said anything because if she felt weird about it, then it was on her. It was also revealed that when she was 5, Dylan started going to therapy and that she told the therapist of a secret, but it was a revelation that the therapist never shared with Mia. Farrow would talk about other moments where she saw her partner and her daughter in rather uncomfortable situations. One of them was when Woody slapped Dylan's hand away from his hand, and then when she asked him what happened, he simply told her that she had reached out to touch his intimate area. Another incident was that Dylan talked about herself and that she said that one day the two of them were sitting on the porch and he was directing her how to suck his thumb and telling her what she should do with her tongue. Priscilla said that when she confronted him, Alan simply said that it was comforting for a child. In the documentary, Mia had revealed that often she felt hopeless and that she did not know what to do until a psychiatrist who lived in their building had said that she saw something odd in that way that Woody greeted Dylan. In the end, it resulted in Alan going to therapy, which concluded that while his behavior was inappropriate, it was not intended to be so, and that it was all due to the fact that the director did not know how to act around children. After they thought things would be better, and for a while they were, until January 13th of 1992, when Farrow said that after letting herself into Woody's apartment, she found nude photos of her adopted daughter Soon-Yi, which she described as being out of a Hustler magazine. Mia replied that at the time it was such a huge shock that she was struggling to breathe. Speaking about that day, Dylan said that she didn't know what was going on, but that after that, Mia had told her that Woody had taken nude photos of Soon-Yi, and she thought to herself, oh, it's not just me. But how did people react to the documentary? Dylan's brother Ronan voiced his support for her amid the debut of the first episode of the documentary by sharing a photo of the two of them on Instagram with the caption, "Proud of my sister." As for Mia, during the documentary, she revealed that she blames herself for all of that had happened and that she was the one who brought them together into their lives. And she also revealed that she understood why people didn't believe that Dylan, was saying all of this was actually true, because she herself couldn't believe it at first. Since the episode premiered, Alan himself had spoken out against this documentary, condemning it. Both he and Soon-Yi had released a statement to The Hollywood Reporter stating that the documentary makers had no interest in the truth and that they were collaborating with the Farrows and their enablers to put together a hatchet job riddled with falsehoods. It went on to add that, as it has been known for decades, these allegations are categorically false. Multiple agencies investigated them, and that at the time found out that whatever Dylan Farrow may have been led to believe, absolutely no abuse had ever taken place. The second episode of the documentary will be released on HBO next Sunday. So tell me, curious, have you seen the documentary? What are your thoughts on it? And what do you think about the allegations that had been made about Woody Allen? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we shall see you again in the next video.